Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please take your seats. We are going to be starting panel 2. But just before I start on panel 2, a sincere apology from myself, from my heart, and Bled Water Festival. Dr. Magdalena, PhD Scientific Assistant and Head of Department for Water Safety and Supply, the Croatian Institute of Public Health in Croatia, was missed of panel 1. However, it's a dynamic live show, and I believe her valued contribution to panel 2, a new understanding of drinking water, spring and bottled water, and its effect on the human body will be an absolutely valued contribution. So a round of applause for Dr. Magdalena. If you could please take your seat. Second, I would like to introduce Marjana Simonič from the Faculty of Chemistry and Chemical Engineering, University of Maribor. She works in the Laboratory of Water, Biophysics and Membrane Processes, Slovenia. So welcome. And our third guest is Damir Andabaka, MSc of Food Technology at the University of Zagreb, School of Medicine, Croatia. Welcome. So, a new understanding of drinking water, spring and bottled, and its effect on the body. Just quickly to the audience, raise of hands. Do you know the difference between sources of water, spring or bottled? And does that mean anything to you when you drink water? We have one hand, thank you, sir. So, okay, not a huge amount of hands, but I think after this discussion with this fantastic panel here, it will definitely give you some further insight of how you could create a drinking water lifestyle and also understand what you're putting in your body and the effects. So we would like to start with Dr. Magdalena first.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. Thank you to organizers for inviting us for this festival. I'm the head of the office of the Laboratory of Drinking Water Quality and Water Supply in Croatian Institute of Public Health, but we also have a very long experience in analyzing and controlling bottled water from Croatia. In one part of our history, we had also the partner related just for the bottled water, mineral waters in our institute.
The audience. Okay, you want to share? Fantastic. That's very nice that we're sharing mics as well. So good. So thank you for the introduction in regards to your activities. And I think it will be very complementary to this discussion, this panel discussion on bottled waters and the minerals. So over to you, Damir, if you could give us a couple of words. Just.
Is okay now? I'm coming from the School of Medicine in Croatia. I'm working in a laboratory for water analysis and biology. So mainly we are dealing with thermal waters in health resorts, which are used for curing with bathing. And we have, in 2008, we have joined, Department of Biology joined us in medicine school, and the department was once institute, and biology was a science till 1950s in Croatia, and in 50s it lost it. So nowadays that part, biology, isn't a specialty in Croatia and in most of the Europe countries. So basically, we are now trying to introduce biology again in Croatia, and as I know in Slovenia also. That's in short.
Brilliant. Thank you for the introduction. And would you like to go next? Just a quick introduction, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm Marjana Simonič, coming from University of Maribor in Slovenia. I'm coming from laboratory for water treatment, especially, but also I began my career with studying biological waters, such as thermal waters, more than these drinking waters. However, I also have some insight into the quality of mineral waters, source waters, table waters, and but I have to be sincere that lately I'm more studying on or making research on treating water, wastewater, not so much drinking water, but however, colleagues will help me to explain about the quality of the waters, the difference, and I'm waiting for your questions.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. So thank you for the introductions to our panelists. Firstly, I would like to start with Dr. Magdalena. If you could give the audience a bit of insight in regards to the work that you do, and we could take some questions and answers from the audience once you're done.
As we are working at as I'm working in the Public Health Institute, the first question very often that we are having from customers is which water is better, drinking water from the tap or bottled water. So as we are promoting drinking water from tap as main use of water, we always say that this for both kind of water, it is important that they are safe for drinking, that they are that both of those water don't have any adverse impact on human health. So describing also what impact, which water you will use, it's availability of water. So if you have a tap water available, we also always recommend to use tap water. Also, bottled water, as we are also want, as in other countries, to support our production and our industry of water. We also say that it is important for them that they are safe, and that if there is no other sources that you can use it. And also, as in the previous panel, colleague Marta said that you can supplement water from if you have a different kind of waters in tap water and different mineral content in tap water and mineral water, so you can combine both of them. So our intention in Croatian Public Health Institute is always to give those perspectives to our consumers, but also to have always say that tap water in Croatia is safe, that we can, as we heard in Slovenia and the other countries, is safe for drinking, so that our customers or in Croatia can drink.
Thank you for that introduction. Still, continuing from panel 1 to panel 2, that hot topic of what I would like to consider is a drinking water lifestyle. In that term, it's more about understanding the sources of water, tap water, which is number 1, and then complementing this with mineral waters. So does the audience have any questions in regards to the way we look at drinking water from tap and mineralized bottled water? The mic's over to the audience if anyone has any questions. Don't be shy.
There is always also question what is differences between them. One of the first differences that tap water is usually, at least in Croatia, use disinfection. We are using as a residual disinfection for maintain drinking water in those huge pipelines. And usually there is some water treatment. For the mineral waters and the spring waters, any treatment is not allowed. There is a list of treatments that are allowed, but in a very restricted way, and any disinfection is not possible, allowed to use. So that is from the technological part, main differences between those waters. Differences between bottled and spring waters, mineral waters and spring waters. Mineral waters, they need to have stable constituents, and for the spring waters, that composition can vary.
So would you say that in Croatia, the harmony of drinking tap water and special mineralized waters is part of their drinking water culture, or is this something that needs to be changed for people to drink more tap water?
I think that it was popular in some time that everybody has its bottle of water. And now I think that this attitude is going to change a little bit, and that very often you can find, as also we heard in the previous panel, people with the bottle of waters and that you can refill with the tap water. So I think that with all those efforts that we will, as member states in the European Union, needed to do in the next few years regarding the transposition of the new drinking water directive, in that way that we will need to promote the tap water, that this attitude will change more and more.
Yes, so totally agree. And from the panel discussions, even from the beginning, I feel that it's the transparency of data analysis, the test of water in regards to tap water being allowed for the consumer to understand clearly in a non-scientific but digestive way for them to create that harmony in that respect for that tap water. So yeah, that's really nice insight that you've provided in regards to the differences of them. Would you say then, based on your studies, is there any negative effect of continuous drinking of highly mineralized waters and not having that balance of tap water and highly mineralized bottled water?
It can. Maybe my colleagues can work more, but I think that maybe Andabaka can say more. But usually, I think that even in some waters in Croatia, they need to be labeled that some kind of disease. If you have some kind of disease, you can't drink this water. So it is very drinking of bottled water is very tricky, and I think that people need to be more informed about that. So maybe Andabaka.
Yeah, of course. Well, first that I have to say that nowadays in the market, a lot of mineral waters exists, meaning that you can find mineral water with content of 50 milligrams TDS, and you can find water like this one on the table, Donat MG, which contains 11 grams of TDS or minerals. So basically it's one of the unique waters, and on a bottle there is strict decision, provides it provides strict directions how to drink this water. So it means, as you can see on the bottle, it says 0.3 liters per day, 0.1 in the morning, 1 deciliter after lunch, and 1 deciliter in the evening. If you drink this water in excess, it can cause diarrhea and problems with digestion systems. So it's clearly stated that drinking excess this water could cause you dehydration instead of hydration. But mainly, most of the waters, mineral waters that are declared as mineral on Croatian market, and as I can see also in the market of European Union, they are mostly low mineral, meaning that mineral content is less than 500 milligrams per liter TDS. On Croatian market, you can find also water like this, MG, which is, I think, around 2060 milligram per liter TDS. And it contains, just claim that it contains magnesium. It doesn't contain health claims like this one, because this Donat MG has proven his way of acting to the human body by clinical studies, and Mgmivela didn't. But according to the content of magnesium, they can put some claims related to the magnesium content, as it can help muscle function and reduce tiredness, etc. Things that contain with magnesium. So basically, if you drink a lot of high mineral water, you should be aware that that depends also on your diet. And mostly if you drink 1 liter of this water daily, it fulfills your needs for magnesium. So that means that with diet you can no more magnesium, or I mean probably you will intake more magnesium than you need. If you drink 1 liter of this water, and with the diet also you enter some magnesium, so probably you will access daily limit of magnesium.
That's definitely a very interesting insight. And to all the panelists, a thought of mine is prior to, say, pharmaceutical drugs and pharmacies providing aspirins or magnesium tablets, calcium tablets, etc., where we're all accustomed to go to our local store to buy the tablets and to consume if we're feeling fatigued or a headache or any other ailment for a quick fix, okay? So prior to pharmaceutical drugs and pharmacies, it's always been noted in history for centuries that individuals would go to the springs, not to drink water, but they used to call it the waters, okay? So based on your knowledge and your research, do you feel that this trend of taking natural mineralized waters as a supplement for a healthy lifestyle and contribute to well-being, then undertake what we are used to in the 21st century of going to the pharmacy or going to a doctor and being prescribed pills? So do you feel this trend is going to be bouncing back and we're taking a note of history?
Yes, we all very often have questions. In Zagreb, water is very hard. And when you compare content of calcium in Zagreb, tap water in Zagreb, and content of calcium in some mineral water, is the same. And our customers in Zagreb, they always complain that water in Zagreb is not good, because it leaves those white dots in our kitchens, and some apparatus, and that's not good for all those machines in our house. However, this calcium is very good for our health, and instead of using those medicaments, it's good to drink water. So we always explain to our citizens these differences, and that this calcium is good for them, but is not good for machines, and that they don't need to go to the pharmacy to use those supplements. However, I think that we need to work more on this educational part.
Thank you.
Of course, the main reason why you don't have claims on the bottle is expensive clinical trials. So if you put this bottle of the market of, I don't know, 30 million people, you have to have enough participants, meaning a few thousands, and I don't know, maybe even more. And that study is expensive, and it's not sure that you will get right answer that I say. So water companies don't do the clinical testing because of expensiveness, and unfortunately regulations don't allow you in countries when balneology isn't recognized as a science. For example, in Russia, if you have a magnesium content that it's high enough, you can put claims that it helps, medical claims, meaning on how they affect human body. In the European Union, it's not allowed to have those claims. It's allowed, but you have to provide strong enough clinical studies that will support that claim. So as I know, I only know for Donat MG to have helped health claims about influence on human body.
Fantastic. And to Dr. Marjana.
Maybe we stay with magnesium. I think it is important, and many studies report about that how much ratio is between magnesium and other cations, and also which anions are present in water. In Donat MG, there is a lot of magnesium, and it is laxative, as we all know. However, as you mentioned, these tablets with magnesium, and we put them into water and they carbonize and so on, there is less magnesium, and also some additives are added which are not presented in this water, because this is a source water and magnesium tablets are produced with additives, with magnesium, with other stuff. Also in bottled water magnesium, Donat MG, there are natural substances which are mainly minerals, but in tablets and other stuff for drinking or inserting magnesium in our body, there is a lot of organic materials such as acetate. I mean magnesium acetate, which is different, which is different in our body than magnesium, which is present in this water. So it is a main difference between the tablets and food with magnesium and also in mineral waters. And as I remember, also colleague Marta said that magnesium from water is more easily absorbable to our glands and organs and cells than in tablets, because of these additives which are not allowing such good absorption of magnesium from the food than from the water. And also Mivela has a lot of magnesium and also could have more laxative effect, but magnesium tablets are not so full with magnesium and do not have such laxative. And if we drink too much donut, then we could lose minerals, not that just absorb in our body, but they go through our body out.
Definitely. So question is, do you see a rise or people's better understanding with more scientific analysis and data provided from these mineral-rich waters to give the consumer options of, do I drink a naturally sourced water, which is water soluble, the minerals in the water, to help with health and well-being elements, reduce the visits to the pharmacy or the doctors for headaches or muscle pains, etc. Do you see this trend that we're discussing at Bled Water Festival have more uptake with consumers in the near future?
Well, I think that depends on a lot of factors. If you look, for example, on internet domains like PubMed, which is a domain for scientific papers, or Google Scholar, you will find a lot of research that have been done in content of mineral waters and their influence to health. And you have a lot of studies, I must say individual, meaning just concrete water like Donat MG, that says that calcium, magnesium from that water are beneficial for a lot of disease like disease of skeletal, muscular, the influence and they enhance. I mean, they are very beneficial for those diseases. But what it's missing some global research that will in medicine it's called in medicine, you have Cochrane library, which is doing that's called meta-analysis of all articles that are published on one disease, and it puts all together and finds the evidence that some medication or some diseases is it's finding they say medicine but they are finding among a lot of articles they are finding that if they have the same results. So I think that the same thing is needed to be done with waters. Waters have mineral waters have to be classified, and those who are classified the same in all over the world have to pass similar clinical testing to prove that they have effects on the human health.
Fantastic. And would there be any more contribution to this question, please?
Maybe we have to distinguish a lot between natural mineral water because it is a brand, and its stringent rules are valid with natural mineral waters. If only mineral water stays on the label, it is something different. And many times waters which are labeled natural mineral waters have healing effects, or let's say physiological effects, much more than ordinary drinking water or tap water or bottled water. So it is the main difference, because it goes, as Damir said, through clinical researches, and the physiologists say you have to drink only, I'm giving an example, half a liter a day, not more. But we know that we have to drink more than half a liter a day. It is between 1 liter, half, and maybe 2 liters, and maybe more. And so that is the big difference. And we have to be very careful what is on the label, which type of water.
Fantastic. Thank you for your insight. Just before we start, would you like to contribute to this?
I think that maybe the main problem here is that, as I see in Croatia, there is not much knowledge about that. That there were previously we used this water, and we just see in our also toplice. How to say it, spa areas, yeah, spa areas, and they used also water for drinking. And today we are asking, there is a question in Croatia, if that water can be or not used for drinking, and how we are going to which law we are going to test. So we have too much regulation on different fields, and at the end we are lost. I think so. And that all that knowledge that previously was used and known on this use of mineral water today is missing. So maybe because the clear picture of that is that we lost balneological institutes in Croatia, but the other countries in European Union. So if we are going to promote use of drinking water and as this mineral water as healing effects, and with those healing effects, I think that we need to work more, not just on this scientific base, but this regulatory based and other institutional levels.
Thank you. Just before we continue with the panel's discussion, I've got a couple of questions that I would like to express to our audience. Over to you. Questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you, all the experts. I'm Božidar Resnik from Public Utility Services. I'm responsible for water supply and waste management. I would ask for your opinion as an expert. How important is the bottle? I'm sure that tap water is #1, but if you talk about bottled water, it's not the same if you use the glass or plastic, if the cap puts some emission into the drinking water. Thank you.
especially for this occasion, I have here an article on this topic. And the best is the glass, because the glass is inert and doesn't have any pollutants, or have maybe, but not so much as plastic could have. The PAT it is labeled on the such bottles. Might have, but the researches are contradictory. One say that nothing leaches from the plastic bottle into the water, but another say that there are some leachment going on. But till now, as I'm concerned, not a lot of it. It is a concentration of a microgram per liters maximum, or lower, nanogram per liters. But if we take a look on other minerals, which are important to our body, they are in milligram per liter. This means that it is 1,000 times more concentrated in minerals than, but however, to my opinion, and as I read a lot of articles regarding this plastic, PAT is safe. But it might be other plastics, such as bisphenol A, which was used for children, for drinking milk from this bisphenol A, and it is many more dangerous, and it is not allowed in water industry. So it is, but till nowadays, not so. Also, we cannot ignore the conditions like temperature. If temperature is higher, then the reactions are going on, and there might be some unpredictable reactions which can, due to the plastic bottle or something else going on, some reactions which are harmful for our body.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bošnjak Rančigai. I'm from Natura team, and I have a question for our guests. We are talking now about different types of water, let's say bottled, mineralized, tap water, but basically it's all water. So we have to ask ourselves, what makes the difference that then we say one water is mineralized, one is tap, and we can find out quickly that environment affects the water. Mineralized water becomes mineralized because it lies deep under surface for a long time. Now we talked plastic influences the water. If we put chemical products inside, it changes the water. And it's all, we can say, chemical influences on the water. But nowadays, it's actually scientifically proven and popularized over the whole world by Dr. Masura Emoto that also information influences the quality of water and the effect of the water on living organisms. So I would like to ask if that field, which is in our opinion and our experience, we are doing this, is put to research, if attention and resources are put into research of this field of influencing and improving water.
Very good question.
So my opinion is we have also done some researches and make some microscopic research on this water, and we did not detect any changes between one and another, and tap and so on waters, different types. I would call it pseudoscience, but on the other hand, I would say that drink such water that it suits you. If you feel better, drink this water. It cannot have a harm effect on human body. And if you buy maybe products which should improve the quality of water, and should make this microscopic figure better. And you feel good, fine, drink it. Don't bother about the price and so on. It is the main thing that you feel energetic and full of energy and full of life. And I believe that's it.
I agree. I think it is a personal thing. Your body tells you.
Yeah, yeah, but did you do your own research or did you read about this? Because we also did some research with allium, yeah, but we didn't notice any changes in the length of the roots, really. Okay, we will make a project. Okay, so scientifically, well, I'm sorry, but I really don't saw or yes, I didn't gain any results scientifically which could prove this. But I'm not against. Don't get me wrong, but just my opinion and my research results didn't prove this.
I think a beautiful thing has just happened here. I think the Bled Water Festival has just created a potential collaboration in the research of this. So yeah, awesome. Would you have any comments in regards?
Well, I know about that and I read some articles, but I have no experience with that. And a lot of articles about that support that theory that Mr. said. So, but I didn't go into it, so I cannot comment.
Okay.
Also, I don't have any personal experience that we did such research in that way, but we also often have questions of our customers and they bring something that they found in European countries or elsewhere in the world and some ideas, news and everything. So from a public health perspective, it is important that there is no any adverse impact on human health. If it can help you, it's good, but it's important that nothing wrong is going to happen if you are drinking that water. So I'm sorry, I can't help you more with this research.
That's fantastic. To our next guest, if you could introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Toman, University of Ljubljana. The question of the quality of drinking water, mineral water, is important because it's only a part of a global water cycle. So the quality of the drinking water we used in Slovenia, mainly 90% of the water coming from underground. So we are very lucky to have a so-called healthy drinking water. And but we have not to neglect that the quality of the natural water environment reflect the quality of drinking water. And the question today is not the pollutant we monitor, but the pollutant we do not. So we have a lot of different materials in last 20, maybe 10 years, most of them important, not only for the human body, but also for the environment and the whole being in the environment. So the question is, do we have enough, good monitoring to detect such matters? Because we know that the concentration is not the only value, but the dose is the value, very important for the health. I was working now more than 40 years in research. One of my period was also research on so-called endocrine disruptors in the environment. So we have it also in the drinking water. And I'm not very sure that we have good information of the whole quality of the water, mainly if we are talking about the chronic effects. Chronic effects means more than 10, 20, and so on. So your experience, what is your experience in such monitoring? We know that nanoparticles in our drinking waters, in tap waters we have, and we have it in bottled water, nanoplastic mainly, and endocrine disruptors. So what could be in future? We do not know exactly for so-called hormone disruptors. And this is the important question for ministry, for health ministry, for everybody who are preparing a new type of monitoring of water. We still have, I can say, historical analysis for the water health. And that's the question, I think, very important, because drinking water is only a part of a global water cycle. Don't forget. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question and your comments in general. I totally agree with you. And what I can say is that for example, in Croatia, we have one well field which is polluted with nitrites. It is not pharmaceutical, unorganic contaminants, not organic. So, but just as idea that those nitrites that we are drinking now in that area are nitrites from 20 years ago, because in that period we had, it is very important to know hydrogeological settings of the area and how fast water is going in underground. So those in that area, there is no anymore kitchen farm and everything. So we stopped to introduce new amount of nitrates in the environment, but we still have nitrates today. So, so going further to your question regarding endocrine disruptors and everything. So even today, if we stop to but we will not stop to discharge them in the environment and everything. So we will have impacts many years after. I agree that monitorings in most of countries, including Croatia, are not very well done. So there are many intentions now, as you we already mentioned a few times today, the new drinking water directive is put in place, and we need to harmonize our national legislation by the end of this year. So endocrine disrupting compounds, as pharmaceuticals also, and also microplastics, are going to be monitored, and they are part of new watch list. So that is one new step that we did, that European Union did, and we all other countries need to do. Obviously, some countries already doing some monitorings because they are waiting for directive from the European Commission, but some other countries, as Croatia, which don't have enough money and etc. to going on with some specific monitoring, they will do now when we will be obliged to do. However, there were some research activities, but as you probably also experienced in Slovenia and other countries, research results are very often not taken into account by ministries and governmental bodies. So that is always some gap between those institutions. So I fully agree that there is a lot of things to be done in that area.
Okay, thank you. We've just got just this gentleman here. Yep. Just behind you. And then two more. So.
Yeah, lepo pozdravljeni. Hello, my name is Uroš. I'm coming from the partnership of natural spring waters of Kamniško-Savinjske Alps. These are the waters which you can drink directly in the nature from the springs. And I would like just to ask a question about, so many times, of course, tap water is treated just to ensure the safety. But do you have some researches, or do you know by other resources, what is the effect of this treatment on the amount of the minerals in the water, or also the other, let's say, useful elements which are in the natural water? So so I mean, of course, it's important to ensure the safety of the water which people drink, but I think we have to be, let's say, careful how to treat this, so not to destroy all these useful elements which are in the water. Let's minerals, but there are also some other elements. Thank you.
For example, many of those water treatment technologies that are used in Croatia, flocculation, coagulation, etc., they are to remove organic components, organic matter, and iron and manganese in water. They don't affect mineral constitution. On the other hand, we have in a few sites in Croatia desalinization that is used to use seawater, and it is obliged after this treatment to add chemicals to replace and add a sufficient amount of those minerals in water. And the new drinking water directive also says that there is no prescribed minimum level of, for example, calcium, magnesium, etc. But there is one note that water suppliers need to take account that that they maintain this at least low level of these constituents in water, exactly because to assure that people are provided with a certain amount of minerals.
Fantastic. And to our next guest, unfortunately, ladies first.
Hello, my name is Jasna. I'm a pediatrician, and this is only an individual question. It is often said that it's much better not to drink the water from the bottle, but to pour it into the glass so it gets oxygen. Is this actually scientific, or is just a placebo effect?
It could be scientific, because if we pour the water out of the bottle, it is certainly the oxygen content is increased, and higher the oxygen, better for our body. It is more oxygen also comes in our body and absorbs into the blood and goes to the glands. So it could be better, yeah. And maybe we can try, and if we feel good, that's it.
I just would like to add to this from a non-scientific approach, but if you are drinking these very special waters from a natural source, a gift of Mother Nature, give it the respect and give it a pour into a nice glass to allow you to visualize the carbonation, the minerals that may dry out, but then also the experience, like you would drink a fine wine, you would drink it in a beautiful stemware. So again, it's that connection of the non-scientific approach, that your pleasure, your respect, and the enjoyment of drinking that certain water from a nice glass is there. So I think it kind of complements the scientific element and your personal excitement and relationship to drinking water. And finally, sir, you've been waiting very patiently.
Thank you. Mitja Britzer, coming from Ministry for Environment, Slovenia. So I would like to really make it short. And my question is, where you as experts, let's say from analytical point, science, monitoring the quality of the water, where is the main gap from your point of view in implementation, the regulation, taking into account addressing wastewater treatment plants, and on the other hand, of course, implementation of the regulation for the drinking water on site? Where the main gaps are, taking into account our very concrete reality. Just to mention in our region, karstic aquifers, for example. Thank you.
Yes, very hard question. You know, with when we have meetings in Croatia, and always I'm asking for drinking water because I'm coming from the sector of drinking water, and I want that some things are going better. And then they come, and we can't speak about drinking water if we don't speak about wastewater. And then we come to the very painful things that only 6% of our agglomeration is in good condition, and that we are very bad in that. Just for example, in more than 90% of population in Croatia is connected to public water supply systems, and only 46% is connected to sewage systems. So that is very huge differences. And even of those which are connected to sewage systems, those water treatment plants are not working with all three stages. So, and all this wastewater, especially in karstic area, and more than half the part of Croatia, and the similar is in Slovenia, is a karstic area, and it is very hard to maintain safe drinking water in that area. However, in Croatia, we have one good things, no good thing, it is not good things, but it is thing that we don't have a lot of industry, a lot of things that mostly those area which are in the those springs that are used for drinking water are still well protected because they are in the areas where there is no this huge production. However, some parts are still very vulnerable. So I think that the main gap is some political decisions. From my point, you know, we have good analytical and everything, but somehow I have feeling in my country, I don't will speak for the other countries because I don't know, but I can suppose that they have ideas, they have some things that they need to be done because of directives and everything, but some bad decisions are made in some things. So we don't go to, if there is a problem, but there is too much problems, but we can't solve all of them. So we need to prioritize them. And I think that there is no prioritization of things, at least in Croatia, from the wastewater treatment plants operation.
Thank you.
I totally agree with your opinion and with Margareta's opinion, and I believe in Slovenia is pretty much the same or similar. But if you ask about where are the gaps, I believe just in conversation, we don't understand each other. We cannot persuade the people from wastewater treatment plant how it is important to protect water sources, that this hydrological cycle goes on and on and on and doesn't stop with wastewater treatment. And they, I believe, do not listen. They do not hear. They listen, but do not hear. And the conversation, I believe, it has to be improved, but I don't know how, somehow.
Question to
my name is Mike. I'm from Germany. This is no question. This is for the woman who asked drinking of bottle of glass. A bottle is only a small open, and you will get not the right touching on your tongue. You're drinking, and your neck is behind, and there's no good quality in your nose. If you drink from the glass, you have see your eyes, what he was saying. And the touch of your tongue is smooth and smart, and it goes all around in your mouth. and drinking, breathing out to your nose, and it's more aromatic.
Oh, thank you, Mike. Yeah, so the element of the sensory, allowing your taste buds to actually taste the water than just drinking for hydration. Yeah, that's a very valid point. Thank you for your contribution. So we have slightly overrun. I think the conversations here and the involvement of the audience and the questions and the answers have been absolutely awesome.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a question from Zoom from one of the participants. If we can answer that one quickly.
Yes, of course. We welcome this. Definitely.
All right, definitely. So the question comes from so others may eat foundation member, and the question is there such a thing as alkaline water? And if it exists, how good it is for the human body?
Of course, it is alkaline water. A lot of people are dealing with the electrolysis of water, and alkaline water does exist. There are no scientific research against this water. Some people drink this water with pH 9, but according to the legislation, pH value should be between 6.5 and 8.5. That means that a quick measurement of pH does prove that it is not a drinking water according to the legislation, but no research against it. So if you feel, I'm repeating myself, but that's it. If you feel good, if you feel energetic as it was found on the internet and from the people, they agree with this kind of procedure, nothing could be harmful for the human.
Yeah, I think I'd like to add to that element. Yes, there is a rise of electrolysis on the markets which alkaline the body. My personal perspective, there's a lot of potential fake research, fake news in regards to how these alkaline waters affect your body. You cannot pH balance your body with these alkaline waters. However, as our panelists have said, it's that medium of having a balance of different source waters. And if you feel that alkaline water as a part of a balanced diet with other waters you drink and consume as part of your drinking water lifestyle, if these waters you feel do assist, or you like the taste, the crispness that an alkaline water may provide, a crispness or a bitterness that you enjoy, and it encourages you to drink more in a healthy way, then yeah, it's your personal approach to this. But I feel that, and hopefully the panelists do agree, that there needs to be more research onto this, because the consumers are very fixated on this whole alkaline the body. A way of alkalining your body is having alkaline foods, you know, your greens, your veg, to assist, but do not just solely have alkaline waters. Do we have any more questions from the audience?
Hello, I'm Katja Jelovčan from Natural Health Resort Tunice. I would like just to inform you that we have the GDV camera, or APC, which is electronic photon capturing, that we can measure the drops of the water. And because we are not just from the physical body, we have also energetical body, the light that is around us. Also the drops of the water has the lights, and we can measure these lights. And then why we can see the structure of the emoto that made, if he say, thank you to the water, or I hate you, the crystal of the water was different. And we can also measure the light that is around. So if the water is good quality, good vibration, the light is much higher than of the water that is bad, the light is lower. So we can measure, and then in around more than 350 scientific proven articles that we can see the different type. But of course, on the chemical level, the structure, it will be the same. Just the molecular way, it will be the different. Thank you.
Okay. I think definitely there is a combination of science and the work of Dr. Emoto and others. And I think it's a good conversation to have because you believe in the power of water and also the scientific element of it as well. And combining the two is definitely the way forward, and taking the best elements of each to start making better decisions in regards to how we treat water and how we consume water. So there's a lot more study to be done, but I'm very glad that we're having these conversations, adult conversations and questions and answers at Bled Water Festival on this topic, because I'm sure there's many people out there that still want to research and want to understand this relationship, if it's Dr. Emoto's work and what the scientists here do on a daily basis to provide us with fresh, clean, reliable drinking water and research. We are running out of time, but there's just one more question from me to our panelists. So we discussed about the health benefits of these waters and looking back at history of going to the springs to drink these waters for ailment. Do you feel that our general practitioners, our GPs, general doctors that we go and see, would you feel confident for them to prescribe waters like this than prescribing factory-made pharmaceutical tablets? What are your thoughts?
I think that maybe we have here one pediatrician.
Okay.
Maybe it's a question for her, but I can tell you, we have one discussion now in Croatia about we need to give some opinions about bathing waters, and epidemiologists, they said, no, they will not give this opinion because they are not educated. And who will give education to them? Okay, so we will stop we will not use this article by, next few years, because at the moment, no one can educate them. So I think that education will be the main issue in this field. So maybe colleagues can have her insight from the first point.
This will be the last question before we move to the next.
If you could just comment, as you are a pediatrician, you are not a general doctor, but for example, if would you be able to produce, as I'm a mother of child, and would you like to, young child with not, but let's say that you are not pediatrician, that you are general doctor, would you be able to prescribe me some use of this bottled water?
It's actually a great question for all the doctors, especially for pediatrician. We should talk a lot about water, and people actually don't have knowledge. They even don't think about to drink water, that it's necessary, that it's good for health and the society, and how to clean the water and how to clean the world. Okay, so all what was here, the topic, people usually don't know. And now I remember something. I was listening, it was nearly 40 years ago, but I was listening lectures about water problem in Africa, where Nestle in that time actually made horrible thing with the mother milk in powder form, because many children in that period died because mothers were not breastfeeding anymore, and they were giving such kind of milk. And the professional from World Health Organization told that he was surprised when he came back, and when they were giving rehydration salts as a cure, they realized that people didn't use salts for rehydration, for example, in cholera and diarrhea, because they said, well, people said it is not possible to drink it, it's too hot, because they said boil the water and give the powder in the water. But they forgot to tell and take a time to cool the water. So this is why the knowledge is so very important. Okay.
Thank you very much for that contribution. We have run over by 15 minutes, but I personally think that extra 15 minutes was very valuable. The discussions that have been created at BLED. And just to our panelists, would you like to say any final words, or should we go to the next panel? Yeah, I personally think the contribution was great.